What is your thesis of where the world is going overall? You talked about how like companies are changing, more entrepreneurs, that sort of thing. Are there other elements that go into this when you start playing out the long term of like, okay, an LLM for everything, intelligence at everyone's fingertips all the time? What does the world look like in 5 years from your perspective?
Look, we're definitely going to start to get some leverage out of AI. We're going to have personal assistants that do a lot of these things, but I don't think we've nailed what the interface looks like.
Yeah, I'm sure the answer is not just a chatbot.
Yeah, I really hope not. I think we're going to go through a lot of thrash in terms of how decisions get made, how we consume information and how we make decisions. There's just like, it's so much easier to generate information and content right now and generate analysis. Synthesizing that into a cohesive decision or strategy is still a challenge. I think LLMs can be quite effective at it, but I don't think we've spent enough energy trying to figure out like, what are the objectives that this person is actually trying to accomplish, and how do I really do I really understand the objectives, right? Prompting, like just taking a prompt is not good enough. Like you actually need the LLMs to push you and say like, I don't actually have enough information to serve you well at this point. Like, let me really understand what you're trying to solve in a way that doesn't feel painful and high friction. And then synthesizing the data to be able to help you, to really be a decision support. I think one of the challenges is like, we want AI to boil the ocean for us, right? We actually want, like, I don't trust AI. If I find an option that Claude hasn't thought of, then I discount everything else that's told me, right? If I'm researching hotels, for example, and I find one that it didn't find, I'm like, oh, well, but I'm gonna throw everything else away. And so you want the LLMs to be effective at boiling the ocean, but then also synthesizing all the options into like a consistent recommendation. And I don't think we've gotten to the point where people can trust that sufficiently yet. But I think that's going to be the unlock. When you can actually get to the point where you can trust the judgment of an LLM or of an AI entity. I talk about Bordy as less agent and more principle. Principles bear the consequences of their decisions, right? Agents act on behalf of someone else. I think it's going to be very interesting as we start to see AI principles operate autonomously that actually bear the consequences of things.
Bordy's making it's making decisions versus just sort of providing advice.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you think about, Bordy could just be a router, right? Bordy could be LinkedIn. You could just DM anybody on LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever. We're not that. Bordy's applying judgment and saying, well, I think these two people actually would have a productive conversation. And you might want to talk to Marc Andreessen, but if Marc Andreessen hasn't told Bordy anything that makes him want to talk to you, then he's going to be like, well, that's not a relevant intro right now. And so Bordy is in some ways gambling. He's putting his reputation on the line and his goodwill on the line with every intro that he suggests, right? And if it's a waste of time, then people start ignoring him. We're trying to drive the signal to noise and really apply judgment so that if Bordy makes a bad intro or proposes a bad intro, he burns goodwill, right? And his reputation gets hit. And if he makes a good intro, the next one you're going to take more seriously.
Is that built into Bordy's reward function? Is that been sort of trained into Bordy?
Yeah, exactly. Like he's got sort of a goodwill function, objective function that he's trying to optimize. Is like so this is why Bordy doesn't operate like an assistant, right? So you could tell Bordy to do something and he may or may not listen to you if he thinks that it's, what you're telling him to do may not actually advance, the aggregate goodwill that he has across his entire network.